so I'd never actually flown United Domestic First before. I had booked a business class award ticket through Washington Dulles to Chicago, but had been put in economy for that leg. However, some award space opened up, so I called in and got put into first. I'll be flying American Domestic First in a few months, so I thought it'd be great to have a comparison between the two. I've been sitting on this footage for a while now, debating if I should even make a video. That should tell you my thoughts already. But there were enough memorable happenings, I think, to merit a flight review. Just know that the seat and service will only be briefly addressed. But that's because I slept for most of the flight, and I had literally been sitting in the exact same seat for 10 hours. My Copa Airlines flight from Panama touched down at 3:30 a.m., and everyone groggily made their way through customs and immigration. Given there were only 3 agents working, it took quite a while. I reprinted my United boarding pass in order to get pre-check. I never seem to get it when printing it outside of the US. And dutifully lined up for pre-check around 4:45 a.m. However, I was there so early pre-check hadn't even opened. I debated moving to a regular security line or waiting for pre-check to open at 5 a.m., but laziness won the day. Washington Dulles was pretty unique because the terminals are served by custom buses called mobile lounges. Think your living room on wheels that can go up and down. While much of their use has been diminished over the years through the installation of a new train, that train is designed to go to a terminal that hasn't been built yet, so I took a mobile lounge directly to my D gates. There'll be no footage of any lounge here. I had no time, all of the Priority Pass lounges were closed at this hour, and note that unlike in Europe, buying a first class ticket does not get you lounge access. It actually dates back to a US government ruling from 1974 targeted against racial discrimination. Airlines could either give lounge access to everyone, like Bangkok Airways, give access to passengers on a particular ticket type, like the rest of the world, or charge annual membership fees. Given the latter is the only one that actually makes them money, US airlines went with paid memberships. And now you know. Folks were already lined up to board, and the gate agents were quite chipper and friendly. Normally they call a United 1K for early boarding, and either nobody or only 1 or 2 people do. But going between United hubs of IAD and ORD, over a dozen people boarded. So much for my fancy Zone 1 business class. United actually texts you and alerts you on the app when your flight is boarding, and it's accurate and tied to reality. This is a stark contrast to American, who just has a counter telling you to board 30 minutes before a scheduled departure. American will often board early, or if the flight is delayed, the app won't get updated. So nice IT there, United, if only your website award booking were as robust. This was a 737-900ER, a next generation bought by Continental and merged into United. And if you watched my Copa video, you know exactly where I'm going with this. It was the same seat. Literally the same frickin' seat. So if you want me to talk about the seat, go watch that video. The only difference was the removal of the overhead monitor and the addition of in-seat power and Wi-Fi. I'd take that trade any day. Though the power outlet was a bit finicky and I kept needing to readjust the brick to keep charging. The flight crew were also really friendly and personable, and not just the first class flight attendants. They must have been holdovers from Continental or something. I thought all United flight attendants were ogres. We were offered a pre-departure drink of whatever we wanted, and I asked for orange juice, which fortunately wasn't as horrid as that served on Copa. United had gone all in with the Spider-Man crossover, and the napkins and safety video were all Spider-Man themed. The window was covered in the morning dew, so filming was tricky, though once we accelerated we had a beautiful view of the Virginia countryside.
A 1 hour and 26 minutes en route, expecting a nice ride all the way. Chicago also looking real nice, scattered clouds, good visibility, light winds, and 65 degrees. Once again, welcome aboard, enjoy the flight.
There's a bit of a battle between carriers on so-called premium routes. Normally, whether you get a meal or not in first class depends on the flight distance. However, some high-value routes are flagged as premium, And for example, American will serve a meal on flights between Washington National and Chicago, or Chicago and New York. Apparently United doesn't feel as though a flight from Dulles is worth it though, and we were supposed to be offered a basket of premium snacks. I never saw it, but perhaps I was asleep. We were offered a second drink after takeoff though. The in-flight entertainment and Wi-Fi was on your own device. Wi-Fi was $14 or 2,160 United miles, which comes to a value of 0.6 of 1 cent per mile. Given that it's a big deal when United sells miles at 2 cents each, yeah, it's a terrible use of them. The movie selection wasn't bad, even if Mortal Engines was. We took a southern approach to Chicago, passing Midway Airport, flying over the Fermilab particle accelerator, before swinging over the western suburbs to come into land. Normally coming up to a jet bridge isn't a memorable occurrence, but I later realized the ramp agent's hand gestures were indicative of us not parking in the right spot. Sure enough, the captain announced they might need to move the plane since we parked at the wrong distance, but they were able to get the jet bridge to reach us after a few minutes.
Yeah, folks, from the flight deck, Captain, folks, we're going to be okay.
From there we deplaned, and after passing through a psychedelic tunnel of love, I took the train back home, and after traveling for nearly 24 hours, passed out. So yeah, United Domestic First. It's fine, and it has a little more legroom and a free alcoholic drink. But my main takeaway was the fantastic United employees I interacted with. Could it be the United flight crews aren't all curmudgeons? Well, I may have to look into it. I have yet to fly a real Polaris product and their award availability has been tight, but I might actually look forward to United in the future. Who am I kidding? This must have been a fluke, or I was simply delirious from my exhaustion. Thanks for watching. If you like this video, please give it a like and subscribe for more flight reviews. I'll see you on the next one.